Janet tossed the partially eaten donut in the trash bin. The chocolate icing had been too sweet, and the coffee was not strong enough to wash the taste from her mouth. The drive to the office was a long one, but she enjoyed the quiet 30 minutes and clear highway. It gave her plenty of time to think and to plan. Retirement was only a few months away now, and it was the first thing she thought about when she opened her eyes in the morning and when she went to bed every night. Life was winding down now. Mitchell, her husband, had died from a heart attack 12 years ago, and their 2 sons were grown and gone now, busy with their own lives. The office staff was just beginning to arrive when she drove into the parking lot. She usually enjoyed getting to work early, but today she just felt unsettled. She ignored her cell phone as she used the keypad to open the door. The sound of raised voices came from the reception area. As the only supervisor on site, she headed toward the commotion. "Wait right there, lady." She felt the gun pressed into her lower back at the same time she heard the deep baritone in her ear. Janet froze. "There's no money here." Her voice sounded firm and matter-of-fact. She was surprised because inside, her stomach was churning and adrenaline was already playing havoc with her nerves. "I'm not here for money. I'm looking for my wife." He was guiding Janet back toward the front reception area. Janet's eyes met those of the frightened secretary. She gave a tight smile, not enough to reassure either of them. "I'm Janet Reeder, a supervisor here. What is your wife's name? I probably know her." The secretary spoke. "I tried to tell Mr. White that his wife called in sick today, but he says she left at her usual time." Janet turned her head slightly toward James White. "Mr. White, if you'll please put the gun away, I can take you to your wife's desk, and you can see for yourself." James made no move to lower the gun, but he followed Janet to his wife's desk. Janet noticed, thankfully, that none of the other workers had come into the building yet. Sharon White's nameplate announced that this was her workspace, but her desk was empty of personal photos and was unusually organized for being the middle of the work week. "Did Sharon mention any appointments she might have had, Mr. White? Let's check her calendar, okay?" James stayed close at her side as Janet checked out the desk calendar. "There, do you see it? She has an appointment with a Dr. Fleming." The note had been hastily written. It didn't even look like Sharon's handwriting, but she wasn't going to mention that if he didn't. But what was really concerning to Janet was the blank pages of the calendar after that. Other than the scribble for the doctor's appointment, there weren't any notes for today, or the rest of the week for that matter. James stood indecisively. He'd been so sure he'd find Sharon here. Now he wasn't sure of anything. Was she really at a doctor's appointment? Why hadn't she mentioned it this morning? And what of her threats last night? The ones she'd apologized for later. "Where's the nearest exit?" He used the gun to nudge Janet toward the door. Janet moved slowly and cautiously toward the side door and pointed toward the glass door. No one could be seen. James held her arm as he checked the outside area and made sure he had a clear path to his vehicle. He let her go as soon as he was in the driver's seat, with the motor running, making a quick reverse and gunning the engine to clear the parking area. Janet crumpled slowly to the ground, her legs like jelly. The secretary ran out of the same door Janet had used. "Are you okay, Ms. Reeder? Are you hurt? Should I call an ambulance?" She kept searching Janet's arms and legs for signs she'd been wounded. "I'm fine, Paulette. I'm okay. I tried to text you to not come into the building, but you didn't answer." "Thank you, I should have. Janet took a deep breath. "Did you call the police?" "Yes, ma'am. They're on their way." Just then, the sounds of sirens could be heard faintly in the distance. "Paulette, did Sharon say why she needed the day off?" "Ms. Reeder, she didn't take the day off. She's in the ladies' restroom. She said she figured James would come looking for her. She planned to leave him and needed to take out a restraining order, but she hadn't had the chance to do it yet." "Well, let's go have a talk with her." They turned to go into the building. Several employees were opening their car doors and looking a little stunned, having witnessed the end of the confrontation. Janet faced her workers. Can everyone please come inside the building and let's just lock it up until the police are finished, shall we? Paulette, do a head count and let's make sure everyone knows what's going on. Janet took another deep breath. Retirement couldn't come soon enough.